We are a little late, but we're here. We're ready to go. We got a big show. We got breaking news about what's going on in Methuen and Essex County. Two police officers, felonies they're facing. There's going to be a trial. We're going to talk about it tonight. But before we do that, I figured I would just laugh my ass off at all these friggin' trolls that think they're going to affect my great life. I love you talk about me. I don't even have to say shit. Every once in a while, I'll drop a couple Twitter. Like this morning, I went after a couple of the trolls. It was fucking fun. But mostly, I just ignore them. They're going after family and shit now. They're still trying to get me canceled off Grace Curley's show, and it's like, guys, you're putting all that effort into it, and there's only one more. It's Friday. Like it's too late. You can't cancel me. The gig is over. It's done. If you cancel me on Friday, I'll just have a day off. I'd be happy. Like I wouldn't have to drive in or have the stress on my life. So I just laugh my ass off because my life is so friggin' good. And that's the authentic me. Like you heard Robbie the other night, we had like 50 people watching. We had the best fucking night. It was like just reliving my history, his history, and it just made me like remember where I'm from, who I am, my community, how much people love me and respect me. And I love that the trolls go after me because I see who my real fucking friends are. I had 100,000 followers. Now I got like 97,000. And now I know who actually likes me, who's using me, who likes me, who loves me, who supports me. I am fucking loving this actually. I never talk about it. And then for weeks they go on. I must be really important now. I don't even want to be important. I'm humble. I try to keep that level, but it's just fucking funny as hell. I just gotta say, like, and here we are. We're gonna have another great show. Like, we have a former retired state police, and I just gotta say, he's a friend of mine now. He's from my local area, and he's friends with police officers that I went to high school with, that I grew up with, and he just hooked me up with the number of one of them that apparently I'm not going to say what police department, but a local police department. There's a picture of us. I'm in a local police department when we graduated high school together. So I'm calling Goody. I got Goody's number, and I'm looking forward to catching up with my old friend Goody, who's doing great work as a police officer. And I always knew, like, when he was, I just knew when he got hired, I was like, this is the perfect police officer. And the dude has excelled and done great work. And I always hear good things about him from the community. And so I'm really happy that my next guest tonight, Larry Smith, retired Mass State Police, has uncovered unbelievable corruption in the state, in Methuen, with the MPTC, the Mass Police Training Commission, the state agency. He's found all this corruption, and he doesn't stop. He's got a book. It's an amazing book called Six Degrees of Corruption: The Fleecing of a City. It's on the screen right now. And he also is has a company called the Sturm Group, which does audits for towns, cities and towns, and police departments and things like that. He's an investigator. This guy is a real life auditor. You know how there's those fake auditors that put cameras in? This guy is the real deal. He exposes corruption, does it the right way, and he's on them. He's on the neck of these people. What he did led to a police chief being indicted for felonies in his own county, Essex County, and a police officer who was also a select board. I think, what do we call them up there? No, city councilor up in Methuen. These two guys are going away. Like they're looking at some serious charges, and it's because of Larry, retired Mass State Police. And I know a lot of you guys have bought the book. He was on the Grace Curley show. We got such great feedback off that appearance. I wanted to spend some more time because the Grace Curley show, I love it, but it's those quick radio hits, and you really don't get to spend the full 2.5 hours, whatever, how long you need on it. And that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to catch up because there is new news all about this, what's going on in Methuen and what Larry's been doing. So we're going to bring up Larry right now, and I'm wicked happy to have Larry Smith, LP Smith, author Larry Smith. And again, I said, retired Massachusetts State Police, another one. He is the second Mass State Police to come on the show. Tom McGee was the first one, and Larry Smith. I love these guys. I love the retired cops to come on this show. It makes me really happy. So welcome back, Larry. How you doing today?
Hey, Mike, doing wonderful tonight. Thank you for having me. Sorry I have to go with the avatar, but technical difficulties not one of my strong suits here.
Yes, we were trying to work that out with the video, but we got the avatar up, and it's not intentional for the audience watching at home. He's not trying to hide himself. We were trying to get the video up. Sometimes it just doesn't work, unfortunately. And I was having some issues with getting some documentation from you tonight as well. But we're gonna plow right through this because we can do this. We don't need all the bells and whistles. We have the information that you're going to bring us tonight. What happened today? Because in court today, Essex County, you have this retired police chief or disgraced, I don't even say retired, he's a disgraced police chief, Joe Solomon from Methuen. He's got felonies because of what you uncovered, and also this former city councilor, Sean Fountain, I believe his name is. Both of these guys are police officers. They're facing charges in Essex County. Tell us about that and what happened today, what we found out about their situation today.
Well, this was just such an. What I hear back from people that have read the book is they're shocked at how pervasive and systemic the fraud is, the corruption is, and how high and what levels it goes to. I mean, I got hired to look into a false set of records in regards to Sean Fountain being a police officer. Those records were forged, and they were forged with the help of senior level staff within the police department. So long story short, we've proved all this, and I jumped down the rabbit hole into the Municipal Police Training Committee, and we found out that they were not only were they involved, but they were criminally negligent, because they tampered with evidence, they hid evidence from us, they lied to investigators, you know, all kinds of stuff like that, which is in a 203-page investigative report, which was impounded on the day it arrived at Lawrence District Court. So we thought it was kind of odd because under the rules of impoundment in Massachusetts, it's called the Uniform Rules of Impoundment Procedure, URIP. Throughout URIP, it dictates what the requirements are. You can't just blanket impound something. You have to have a justification as to why. And you can't just impound the entire record. You have to provide a redacted version if necessary. You have to have a definitive date for expiration, things of that nature. We've always thought that they don't want this investigation. They don't want this report out there. They don't want it public because they didn't want to do this case. They didn't want to investigate this case, which is, it's truly troubling to think about it when you think about it, due to the fact that you're talking about a fake police officer who didn't go to an academy or went to an academy, withdrew from the academy, and never completed the academy, that went on to become a police officer 20 years after he supposedly went to the academy or didn't go to the academy. And at that point in time, they didn't put him through an academy. They didn't do a background check. They didn't do a psychological test. They definitely didn't do the background check because he had a domestic battery issue. He had a he had a 7-day temporary restraining order, things of this nature. Yet the city hired him and gave him a gun without putting him through an academy class. And then he went out and he locked up over 60 people over the next 4 years. So explain to me how, if you hire this guy who knows he's not qualified to be a police officer, the police chief should suspect that he's, we think that he's involved, and we've proven that there was a connection there. Otherwise, he wouldn't be indicted as well. So you have him going out, getting hired. They're hanging their hat on a home rule petition because Sean was still getting paid from the city council. You can't get paid by two masters in the town. And you shouldn't be voting on anything to do with the police department if you're a member of the police department. I mean, Canton knows all about that from the Albert case. I mean, there are issues with integrity, ethics, conflicts of interest, things of that nature. They're all over this case. I can tell you a couple different stories just as a result of today. But first, and the most shocking thing is, they've been indicted for 26 months. It's 26 months since the grand jury said there's more than enough probable cause here to move forward to a trial. So here we are 26 months later. They still didn't have a trial date until today. And what I found out...
6 months to get a date on a trial.
Get a date on trial. And that date on trial is 10 months from now. Next September 8th.
2026. September
8th, 2026, which will be 3 months. I mean, it will be 3 years to the month that they were indicted. Now, Sean Fountain has elected to try to negotiate some type of plea deal. And the judge, after Monday, which I didn't know that he was in there on Monday, that he ended up in there on Monday when we knew they were going to court today. And the judge is been persuaded by the defense attorney to take the 3 months, to take a 3-year probation with no jail time. And this is what tells me that they never really got into our investigative report, or they wanted nothing to do with the investigative report, because I just told you he arrested over 60 people, either summons or arrested.
Those are felonies, right? Like, what would normally be?
That's impersonating a police officer, and technically, if you go by it, it's kidnapping. It's definitely a civil rights violation.
What type of sentence do you think would be appropriate on a plea bargain on this type?
Oh, I'm going to leave that to the judges and the lawyers. I'm not either, and I don't want to be one.
Do you think 3 years probation, though, is a light sentence, like a light plea bargain?
Oh my God, yes. It's as close as they can get to getting rid of this case. I mean, you're talking about just this case alone, the millions of dollars it's cost the city.
It's what I'm wondering. Have people sued? Like, when you say millions of dollars, is it just because of the investigations, or is it like people are suing? I know the feds have come back at them too. How is it costing them money, and has anyone sued?
Well, the investigation. Let's talk about the money that the chief of police is making right now. Well, he's out and he's under indictment, and he's making over $20,000 a month. By the time he comes to trial,
is that a pension, or is that from the?
It's a pension.
Wow. And
he's collecting a pension of over $20,000 a month, or roughly $20,000 a month, just in case it's a little bit less, but approximately $20,000 a month. He's already made over $500,000 since he's been indicted. He's going to make another $750,000 between now and next year. He will literally have made $750,000 while he was under indictment.
And what happens if he takes a plea? What if they offer him the same deal as Sean Fountain? He gets the 3 years probation. Does he lose his pension or not?
Well, that's going to be up to the state, and with the way that they've handled this case from the very beginning, I'd say no. They don't want anything to do with this case. You know, at the very beginning, when we first started this case, you remember, I got brought in because somebody asked. I got brought into this case because of the forged training record. When we started this, there was a conversation between me and Randy Hagar, who was the acting chief at the time, and I asked him specifically. I said, "Do you want to jump down this rabbit hole?" I said, because once we don't jump down here, you don't know what you're going to find in that Pandora's box, because we're talking about, if I prove what you're asking me to prove, everybody that he arrested is a civil rights violation. You understand that? Yes. Okay. So you still want to go through it? Yes. Okay. That same conversation was had between myself, a Methuen officer, and his defense attorney, his initial defense attorney, right after he was arraigned. And he walked in and he's like, "Are you sure the city wants to go down this rabbit hole? I mean, he's not working. He's not working. I'm like, yes, that's already been explained to them, and they still want to move forward. So obviously they wanted to prosecute this case. They still want to prosecute this case. I know people in Methuen that have reached out to me, offered to buy my copy of my report. I'm like, why do you need to buy my report? I put it out online after I got it from court last year. You're welcome to it. He's like, I'll print it all out. I'm like, okay, what do you want to do with it? He wants to send it out to all these politicians, all these people, because they've hidden this report. This report is so utterly damning of the other professionals that are involved for failing to do their jobs. How can you explain to me that a district attorney and an attorney general would turn down an investigation into a corrupt police chief who has a nasty history and a fake cop who's out arresting people? And this was after 2020. I got hired in 2021. So it wasn't like these people still liked cops at the time. People coming after cops, and they didn't want to prosecute this case. I mean, why? Make it make sense to me. Make that
I
make
think it's
sense to
yeah.
me.
I think it's the exposure. Like it's a hassle for them, like you said. Number one for the city of Methuen, costs them money, but I think for the DA's office, it creates a lot of work if people start challenging cases and suing them and all this other crap.
Every
I put
case
it on
he
the
touched. Every
Yeah,
case he
every
touched.
case he touched. I put it on the screen again. This is another way besides the report. If people want to get the word out, especially all across Massachusetts, you can buy the book because the book has everything in there. 6 Degrees of Corruption, the Fleecing of a City. This is a good Christmas gift, especially if you know some people in Methuen that don't know the story because it's all in this book. It's comprehensive. It's a really good book. It's got a lot of QR codes where you can go right to the documents and see everything. So I want to encourage people to buy it. If they haven't, buy it for your family for Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, Thanksgiving. Uh, we have it pinned in the chat too. So where you can go to his Larry's website and buy the book. It's right there if people want to get it.
And I
Yeah,
hate
it's
to
funny. You
I hate to
go ahead.
run off with that, but yeah, no, please definitely buy the book, because I was just told today I have to get an attorney to defend myself because I own a corporation and I can't defend my company despite the fact that I own 100% of the company. So they will not allow me to speak for myself under Massachusetts law. So for me to fight the document production that they are moving forward with, that we learned of today, I've turned all my documents over. I have already done this. I've already answered that question in the past. But now they dropped another motion, and the defense didn't argue it. They both agreed to it, and to make me produce documents. Um, no, the fake cop wasn't suspended with pay. It was the other,
I was a chief of
the
police.
chief.
Does
Yeah,
does Fountain still get paid at all? Does he have a pension? No.
I have no idea. He had
Okay.
19 years or something at the fire department, and then he had 4 years at the police department. But not all of that was full time. Some of it was. That's a story in and of itself.
Yeah. He didn't. He may not have qualified. It's funny. He may have though, because sometimes they give you a little extra
I
depending
don't
on
know. I
if
mean,
you
look,
served somewhere else or But it's interesting. The thing is when you said that conflict of interest thing too, that was just like in any place, in any situation, never mind law enforcement or government where there's a lot of oversight. But even like, as a real estate broker or like someone that works at a supermarket, like it's so obvious the conflict of interest in that you're working for the police department, but you're deciding how it gets funded. Like that's so corrupt that he never recused himself on that stuff.
he recused himself from two of the votes he voted on. There was three contracts. There was a chief contract, superior officer contract, and an officer's contract. And he voted on one of them and abstained from two of them, I believe, if I remember correctly.
So shady. That is
Oh,
just
I'll give you another prime example. Today, I go to court to find out when the court date is. While I'm in court, they're having a conversation about me and my company, and they have no clue that I'm in the court, apparently. So they're talking about making the motion to provide to make me compel records. So I'm sitting there through the entire thing, and I'm sitting there with this document that I have in my hand that unfortunately you couldn't open. And I can't show you because the camera's not working, but it was a petition to free the Sturm report from the impoundment, the unlawful impoundment that has been under for 26 months. This is a publicly funded document that cost the city of Methuen over $80,000 to look into the fraud and corruption of Sean Fountain. And it, in the scope that was to find out how it got into the system. So obviously it led me to the MPTC. What we found out during that investigation was that the MPTC knowingly, willingly altered documents, withheld documents, intentionally withheld documents from media sources, because of the incriminating nature. This is from their own emails. You can show the executive director had issues with Fountain, yet did nothing and allowed him to continue to work for another 100 days until he got laid off. I mean, so when you look at everything that went on at the MPTC, between the altering of evidence, tampering, stripping metadata, lying to investigators, and everything else that went on there, it's mind-numbing that they would. I understand why they want the report in a black box and buried in some closet someplace that never is going to see the light of day. But that report was written that way because nobody wanted to do their job. Nobody wanted to take this case on. Even the investigators didn't want to take this case on. I was the third company brought in to even think about looking at this. And
kind of the problem, right? Like no one wants to take the system on.
No, and look, I get it. I know why nobody wants to take the system on. This cost me over $700,000 in contracts. So yeah, and now I'm being told I have to pay for an attorney to represent me so I can defend myself as to why I shouldn't have to produce records. I told them, well, great. I've got I got a book out. It's got 526 public records in the bibliography. It's got 111 QR codes embedded throughout the text. Takes you to all the source documents we're writing about. So you don't have to take my word. You can read it for yourself. If
Exactly.
You're welcome to buy the book, Chief.
Buy the book.
You want the records, pay for them. I've done it. And everything that I've gotten since that investigation, because there's a clear transition, what I gave there and what I moved forward. And now I've written articles that have been published in Fraud Magazine. I've written white paper on the Canton debacle of the audit. I've now written this book, which is a true crime book. I've moved to pull my credentials as a member of the media reporter. So now it's even worse because now you're trying to hassle the guy. I won't tell you anything that's not already there.
Let me ask you this.
I've given my answers. I don't feel I need to answer them again.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, because the question's been coming up in the chat and you kind of mentioned that no one else wanted to take this on and how much it's cost you money-wise, but I probably think stress-wise too, and carrying
it's definitely
the story,
taken a couple of years.
Yeah. Is there a certain point where you just say, I can't do this anymore? Like, I'm not going to expose all this fraud in Massachusetts. I'm just going to be like the rest of the good old boys and just get along with everyone? Or are you just like a lot like me and other people and just like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to continue to do this. How do you feel? Like, how do you decide to continue on or to kind of stop? And do you ever think like that?
My life would be exponentially easier if I would just go along, get along. But I got in the line of work of what I do, not to go along and get along, but to make sure if things are fair, fair and equal. They're not fair and equal. We have two different justice systems, and this is a clear distinction of it. I mean, you can go through so many different angles on this case. Just for example, let's look at the current Essex County District Attorney, Paul Tucker. His background: he used to be the Salem Chief of Police. Okay, as a Chief of Police, he was a member of the Big City Chiefs Association. Robert Ferrulo, the Executive Director of the MPTC, who should have been criminally charged, as under my belief from my investigation, he should have been indicted with Solomon and Fountain. but he wasn't. So now you have so Ferrulo there, and now Ferrulo is also a city councilor. How did he become a city councilor? Right after he retired from the Woburn Police Department, a couple months later, city council chair Rich Haggerty won his election and left office to become a state rep. Ferrulo now occupies that seat for the Woburn Council. You have the former Salem chief who became a state rep at the same time as Haggerty. Haggerty and Tucker co-sponsored a bill that would allow the executive director of the MPTC to collect his full pension, his full salary as the executive director, and allow him to keep his $12,500 for the city council stipend for Woburn, bringing his grand total compensation to $286,000 roughly. So it gets better. So this is how you have it. You have the two of them over here sponsoring the bill here. Now, when this report drops on April 6th into court, Tucker's office moves to impound it.
DA, who used to be the police chief in Salem.
And the state rep that co-sponsored the bill, the original two bills, to co-sponsor the bill to pay his buddy Ferrulo both his salary and his pension. Yet he didn't think that was a conflict, and he didn't disclose it. And this is the same office that's lied about making Brady notifications under Brady v. Maryland.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just disgusting. You can't get any traction. The mainstream media in Massachusetts is bought and paid for. I mean, there's no getting this article out into the globe. They don't want you to know this part. This is what they're trying to hide and cover. Sick. They deliberately left that report in Lawrence District Court, knowing that nobody else would go look for it. Well, they apparently underestimated me.
They underestimated that there's an audience locally that wants to see that, and there's other outlets like YouTube shows that are big into this, and there's an audience now. Liz Cole Baker says 2014 outside investigation Pomeroy's report Essex DA Tucker was chief double dipping scandal. Do you know anything about that?
That doesn't sound familiar to me.
Me neither.
We'll have to take a look at 2014. I mean, that's 11 years ago.
That is a while ago. We'll take a look at that. If Liz Cole Baker, send me a message on that or even a reminder. Let me know on Twitter or Facebook, our Facebook page or our Twitter, especially if you have any links or info on that. I'd like to look into that. That was a while ago. I had a few other good questions here. Or comments. This is one from Heather Donahue. She says Sean Fountain was also a member of the North Andover Fire Department. Go figure. That's North Andover Fire Department is like a red flag for a lot of us now, because that's where the fiance of Kelsey Fitzsimmons. We've been covering that. Seems like a lot of weird stuff around that. Have you followed that at all? Do you have any?
A little bit. A little bit. I've just been so busy between the book coming out and trying to just keep track of what's going on this and making sure that they don't slide something through to, like letting Sean Fountain plead to 3 years with no jail time before the citizens actually ever are able to go get and find out what exactly happened. They have a right to know what Sean is pleading to. And I'm sorry. Explain to me how there's not a single charge of impersonating a police officer. He arrested 60 people. That's a no-brainer. It's not even a clue. That's a conviction. Yet nothing.
He should have all the charges that he did. Love Larry says Mr. A 1010. She says, thank you for not being intimidated by the machine to speak out. There's also another comment that's similar. It's more of a question from Tome 7074 says, do you feel threatened by the machine? In what extent would they be willing to go to silence you?
Do I feel threatened? No. Am I cautious? Absolutely. Do I put it beyond them? No. Um, Common sense. Look, I spent a lot of time working as a law enforcement official. Um, you know, I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I mean, but it's not something I go. I'm more concerned about getting eaten when I go scuba diving than I am about that.
That's probably a good concern in the scuba diving. You never know if there's a shark out there or something. That's what I
Not
I
up
could,
here.
I saw Jaws too many times, but
Yeah,
you
right
know,
age.
I'm not as much worried about humans, you know.
Yeah, no.
And you're like you said, you're a former retired state police, so you're high profile. If something happens to you, the Globe actually might cover it. They might actually cover it.
I
Like
wouldn't count on that.
I know, but somebody will cover it. Channel 7 might. Sherry DV says, "What years was Larry Smith a Mass State Trooper? When were you a Mass State Trooper?"
96 to 18 forced me out after my sixth knee surgery.
Oh, you had 6 knee surgeries. What kind?
Pick. Pretty
Was it
much everything you can do to a knee.
arthroscopic or like major?
Scope, scope to partial replacement, and everything in between.
Yeah, I've had a bunch of scopes for wrestling. It's like every season I had one basically for a little while. It sucked.
It's not
But
a good idea to have them.
yeah, scopes. It's not like that horrible. You recover kind of quickly, but it never helped me. It's like every
Oh,
time I did a scope, they were like, "Oh, it's all fixed." I'd go out there, sometimes for like an hour, and I'd be like, "The knee's not fixed. It's right back where it was."
yeah. And that's, thing about knees, they've come so far since my first knee surgery and what they can do today with the gel shots and the taking out your own the cells and growing them and then putting them back into the cartilage so it heals. I mean, it's come. I wish my injuries came 10 years later because it'd be a whole different story.
Yeah, maybe I would have been able to wrestle a little longer.
Yeah.
Maybe I can go back and get it fixed, and I'll get into the MMA again. Be like George Foreman. I'm coming out of retirement, people. I'm ready. I'm ready. Like I started training again.
Did you?
Like I'm getting all fired up by the trolls. I'm just like, this is a mental thing. I'm getting physically in shape for it. That's how seriously I take all these friggin' trolls out there that have been on me lately, Larry. I'm back working out. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
The thing is, you can't, you back off. It's like negotiating with terrorists that have kidnapped somebody. It's just going to encourage them to do it again if you pay them.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you might as well fight back now.
you always fight back. And the
Always fight
funniest thing
back.
too is even like when you don't like just stand in your ground and just be incredible. Like it's so like it's funny. It's just funny. I just love it that people think they can push you off of it. It's like, yeah, you're not pushing anybody off anything. Yeah.
No, I mean, and that's the thing. This whole thing is all about everything to do with government is always about power. And, when most people don't have the ability to turn around and take that on, they have to sit there and they have to take it because they have a wife, they have a husband, they have a couple kids, they have a dog, a white picket fence, whatever it may be. You don't want to put that at risk. It's time, it's money, it's stress, it's aggravation, it's sleepless nights, it's waking up in the middle of the night going, oh my God, how did I miss that? um, that type of stuff. That's not conducive to a family with young kids and whatnot. um, so it's tough to want to take this on. It happens in every city and town to some degree. I'm not saying it's all as bad as what Methuen is, because Methuen is bad, but every city and town's got some scam going on. And you think 351 cities and towns. I know this one case in Methuen has cost the taxpayers of Methuen millions of dollars, millions, and it's not done. I mean, come on, the chief's still making $250,000 a year that you're on the hook for through the pension system when he should have been. I mean, we're 2 years out now, two plus years out. You guys tried Karen Reed twice in 2 years.
I know, right?
And we
And that
can't
was a
get
murder trial.
and
And
that
that
was
was
a
a
murder
murder
trial.
trial.
And we can't
Yeah,
get him and we can't get him on trial in less than 3. Come on,
I know, right?
it's a joke.
I, it is a joke. And this should be something that they're pushing because this is like public integrity, corruption.
That's what
It's
I
just,
don't understand. I mean, even public integrity section, the guy that turned the case down the very first time out of the AG's office, he might have been the second time, but I know for a fact it was at least the first time. He then went to work for the MPTC. He said no to the investigation, and then
oh
he
my
went to
God.
become the chief of staff and legal counsel for the MPTC and became the vein of my existence for the next year.
Oh my God. That should be an ethics violation or something. That should
Oh,
not be legal. That's a
there's no.
revolving door.
They don't look. They don't care. It's
Yeah,
all about them,
cover
and
up.
that's what this is coming down to.
It's all protection. I mean, look at the governor. You know, she's come from the AG's office, law enforcement background. She never gets involved in any of this stuff. She covers everything up. You know, whether it's Karen Reed or this or anything. She never wants to talk about police. And I'm convinced it's because she's dated some state troopers. Like, I think they have some leverage on her or something. It's weird. Uh, and that's an allegation. That's not proven. And just say that. That's my opinion. Mish84 says, I live in Methuen and this angers me so much. Budgets are so tight, which is true. Big problem in the cities and towns. They're not getting enough state money. The state's holding on too much of the money. So Mish is so right. The budgets are tight. In my town, a rich town, they have a leaky roof at the high school. People are getting sick going to school. The workers even too. And we're supposed to be a rich town. And she goes on and says budgets are so tight, and our schools and kids are paying the price of these idiots, and that is so true. And she says, I just ordered the book, which I love. That's why I'm here tonight. I want to sell more books for Larry. I want more people to read this book because it's very important. It's a great book. And I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat have already read it, already bought it, or they're buying it tonight. I want to see right now in the chat from everybody. Have you read this book? Have you bought it? Are you buying it tonight? Are you going to the library to ask for it? Because maybe you can't afford it. Go to your public library and say, "Hey, we want this book. Can we get this book so I can read it?" I want everyone to read this book. I want to know: are you getting the book? Have you already received the book? Have you read the book? Are you going to your library and asking for the book? Lots of different ways to read this book. I'm just wondering. Heather says I'm getting the book. She's definitely getting the book. So we also
I'm
have
willing.
Sherry. She says
I'll
she's buying it. Ellen says she's reading it now.
I'll come down. I mean, wherever we do book signings, I'll come down, do a book signing, give a speech on it. It doesn't matter. Yes, I'm gonna. I mean, I need the money because I need to defend myself, apparently. But other than that, I mean, the book was written predominantly because it was never going to be told. This is a story that had to be told. This isn't about Methuen. This is about what is systemically wrong throughout municipalities and government in general. This book has been compared to All the President's Men, but in the regards to what that did to federal corruption, 6 degrees of corruption is doing to identifying the municipal and state corruption.
Love it. I love that you said you do book signings. If anyone knows any bookstores locally, you can always ask them to reach out to Larry. We got the website. All his contact information, his book information's there. Maybe you have a local community group, whether it's like the Shriners or the Moose Club or whatever, or they have a lot of local town elderly commission type events as
Senior
well. So
centers.
maybe one of your elderly commission centers types places want to have something like that.
But
Definitely reach out to Larry.
what the best part about this book is, Mike, there's 526 public records that make up the bibliography. And somebody's like, "What are you doing? You're going after him." I know what I'm doing, and you don't go hunting for grizzly bear with a 22 caliber pistol. You bring a bazooka.
You got all
Okay,
the documents there, and
so
you can QR code them. You can look them right up from the book. It's amazing, and you got this. It's amazing how much is in this book. This book is very thick and very comprehensive. I love it. It's a great book, and I hope people get it. One of the questions here is, I think you're working on this right now. Victoria says, I need an audiobook. Are you working on the audiobook? Is that coming next?
3 days.
3 days. It will be
3
there in three
days.
days, Victoria. Yeah, so Victory Neg, 3 days you can look for it on the website. It'll be there. Darcy also had a question: is there a Kindle version?
I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one. I know there's EPUBs out there, ebooks. Kindle is just a brand name to me. I'm not sure if how that works, so I
It
apologize.
sounds like there is. It sounds like there is a version, so
Hey,
people can
Alicia.
buy it. Yeah, people can buy it online as well. I love that. Someone said Moose Club. Hey, I used to go to the Moose Club back. There was a Moose Club. The DAV. Maybe the DAV wants to do it, or the
Yeah.
VFW, or
Well,
like I
here's the
said,
other.
the elderly commissions. You know, they have everyone has an elderly center in their town.
Yep. And the thing is, everybody can do this. Not this isn't rocket science. I'm not the brightest guy in the room by a long stretch. So we have a class teaching people how to do this and how to do it safely, because there are little loopholes and things about acquiring these records and what you can do with the records and what you should probably take out, because normally when you request records from um, the government, more so on the state level, even more on the local level, you're going to find you get stuff that you shouldn't be getting. They'll send out stuff with your address, your phone number, dates of birth, your social security number. It's sad. Uh, we did our best that we could to sanitize stuff, but we can teach you how to do this. I'm just one person. There's 351 cities and towns. There's 50 states with all their different towns and counties. This is going on. Trust me, is going on all over the country. This is not just here. The specifics of this event are unique to Methuen, but this is a national issue happening everywhere. And that's what it really comes down to. So we can teach you, we can help you understand what to look for, when to look for it, where to go. And that's the hardest part, is being able to get the records. If you get the records and you dot your I's and you think you have something, bring it to us. We'll help you get it over the finish line.
Love it.
We'll try to find some cash to help you get over the finish line.
And all that info is on your website, right? People can contact you there, LP Smith website.
Yeah, it's a LP Smith author, or they can go to the sturmgroup.com. So sturmgroup.com or lpsmithauthor.com will get you to where you need to go.
We got one of the big Canton support. He's a Canton resident and a big time known supporter for Karen Reed. He led all the standouts in Dedham. He and his wife Dennis Sweeney is kind of a legendary guy. He says they won't allow it in the Canton Library. I'm wondering if he's being a little facetious, but they need to have it, Dennis. I don't know if he's joking or not. You never know in Canton, but
I
hopefully
agree.
we'll get a copy in Canton, because people are asking about Canton. You had some feedback on Canton, the police audit. You didn't apply because you felt like it was a joke. Do you want to say anything about what's going on in Canton? Have you kept up on it at all?
I haven't really kept up on it since the second trial ended. I know there's a bunch of civil stuff going on. I know there's a lot of chaos, and it's just like people ask me, why didn't you get into the Karen Reed thing? It was overcrowded, too many people already covering it, too much speculation, things of that nature. And I was just like, no. And plus, I was involved in this, and I knew what this was. This goes all the way to the governor's office. I mean, from the attorney general to the governor's office, that's why. But getting back to where you were at, go ahead.
MPTC is a state agency
It is.
that you exposed, and it's under the governor. And
Yes.
has she done anything about it? Has she like reorganized or done an investigation? Has she even spoken on this MPTC scandal?
No, which is funny. No, actually, quite the opposite. She actually went out and advocated back in February of 24. She was advocating to get the executive director his full salary, to pass that House bill that originated with Haggerty and Tucker back in the day. There was another version of it put forward again after, and so they were trying to get that passed in 2024. You knew, as the attorney general, what happened at your MPTC, because of this investigation, and just this investigation. So not even outside of this investigation, under Robert Ferrulo's tenure, you had a inappropriate relationship and a cheating scandal at one academy. You had two cheating scandals at two different academies. You had instructors that had longer histories with posts than the people we arrest with their bops. You had another online cheating scandal, and oh yeah, I forgot the forgery scandal. He was only there for 4 years, maybe 5. I mean, that's one scandal a year, and now you're trying to pay him more, and yet 4 months later you ended up forcing him out, or they said he retired.
Unbelievable. The governor, it's funny. This governor sometimes goes on some other radio show. She'll never come here, obviously, but
No.
she goes on Jim and Marjorie sometimes, and I
Oh,
hope that when
safe
she,
networks.
yeah, but I hope when she goes on there again, WGBH, that people start calling in and asking about this MPTC and all the scandals that Governor Healy. People should be listening and calling into that show when they do the Ask the Governor segment. I don't know if she's still doing that, if she's even cowered from that safe space, but
She won't be
I
now.
I would love to see it. People need to start calling them. I would do it. I used to call in and grill the governor and all them, but they caught on to me. They were like, WGBH like won't take my call anymore from my number. So like it's friggin' funny. They oh, so
Eh,
funny. So I hope
well,
other people do that. Start calling in there. Call into that GBH show, and let's get the governor to answer some of these questions. And journalists too. If you're independent, stock out the state house. Wait, look for her. Go knock on her door. Ask for some time with the governor. Like she needs to answer these questions. This is way far. She's just ignored all these police scandals, and this one is so obvious. MPTC, there's no excuse. She could say, "Oh, Michael Morrissey, I have nothing to do with him." The DA's office, MPTC, she controls that organization.
yes, she
So
does.
there's the buck stops at the governor's office.
Yeah. I mean, getting back to where we were on Canton, um, we withdrew from that for a purpose. And, I wasn't even thinking about putting in because I figured I didn't have a shot. I mean, being a former trooper and knowing what my former agency's involvement was with the Reed case, I didn't think there was any way they would let me go within a million miles. Um, but we pulled the paperwork because people from Canton called us because of the work we did in Methuen. So we pulled the paper, and then we sat down, and the people that I had in the room that day, these are the people that my mentors, the people that I look up to, the people that write the books that teach us how to do the things that we do. And we sat down, and collectively we sat there and we voted it down 9-0. We found 9-0. So we found 5 fatal flaws in the RFP. And then what we did is when we withdrew, we sent a written request to withdraw because we had to send a written request to get the application. So when we did, we told them that we were withdrawing for the following reasons. We told them it wasn't too late to fix it. We gave them recommendations, what they should do. And then at the end, not to be braggadocious or anything else, we told them straight up that, and if you fail to listen to our sage advice, this is going to be what happens.
Happened.
Well,
You were right 100%.
come April 1st, unfortunately, I was proven 100% right, and the town of Canton took that substandard audit and proved it and basically pissed away $200,000 in taxpayer money.
Shocking. Shocking.
Well, that's pale in comparison to the millions Methuen spent, but factor in all the other stuff with the legal cost, overtime, court, and everything else, Canton's going to be on the hook for millions of dollars as well.
Yeah, really. It's unbelievable.
And that's what fraud does to these cities and towns, which is why people, I don't understand why people don't look. I do. I do get it. It's trying. It takes a lot out of you. I mean, God knows I've yelled at people that I would not normally yell at on certain days. It's not for the faint of heart, let's say.
Absolutely. One of the things that I want to ask you about is a podcast. I think I saw you advertising a podcast as well. Do you have
Yeah,
something working on?
we're hoping to get that up and running this month. Obviously, technical issues. We're in a, you get an avatar for me tonight. So we had some technical issues, and then the book was coming out, and it was like, you know what? Instead of putting out something that was a substandard or not up to my standards, I elected to push it off until we had a little bit more time. So Bribes, Lies, and Alibis will be coming out. So bribesliesandalibis.com. We will be on YouTube. We'll have it on all the other fine fine channels that broadcast. And, we're going to start out with some of the reporting. They'll be pre-recorded until I get up and get a little bit and work that out. But I'm hoping to be live by the first of the year.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I'm looking forward to seeing it because look, no politics on my show. It's the issues, because let's face it, the issues are what we need to address. The politics we can deal with on the outside. You strip politics out of the issues, you and I could probably sit down, take any politics out, or put me in a room with somebody that's, whatever. I'm sure if you just stuck to the issue, not the political side, just the issue, we could probably come up to some sort of an agreement and make it work. But then you stick the politics in it, and that's when they screw everything up.
Oh, totally. I mean, that's what mostly my show's been over the last few years is like we don't do politics. We talk to people on every side of it, and usually we don't talk about politics. We just talk about whatever issue, and like that brings everyone together when we're just because everyone no matter where you're left, right, center, pretty much everybody wants to get rid of corruption. Everyone
You
wants
should,
to do
yeah.
something about corruption. I mean, that's like the universal love language. It's like I bet if you did a poll on it, it would be like 99% want to get rid of corruption. There's like 1% that gets off on the corruption and they make all the money off it, and they're the ones who want to keep it. Everybody else is like no corruption.
You know what they call that 1%, right?
What do we call them?
Politicians.
The politicians, yeah,
It's
and
politicians.
and sometimes police chiefs who act like politicians, right? I mean,
It's a political job. You don't
yeah, it
become the
is.
chief unless you know the politicians.
That's the thing. People don't realize that a lot of times a police chief is a very political job. Even just climbing that internal organization in the police department requires a lot of politics and games and leverage, and it's a game. It's and you're right. They all know the politicians. The police chiefs know every single politician locally, guaranteed.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, think about it. The board allocates their budget. They have to go before the boards and everything else. They pick who they're going to hire. I mean, you typically bring the police chief before the board or the city council so that they can meet them and decide whether or not they want to go with it. Why do they call it? Shari, it'd be better to call it Corruptachusetts. I think that'd be a more accurate name for the state.
Definitely. Ruby's also got a question. She said, "Where can we find you, Larry? X YouTube channel. You're on Facebook. You're on X. Tell us where people can find you, how they find you."
Facebook under LP Smith Author, or Bribes, Lies, and Alibis, or my normal website, Sturm Group, or my name. They're all out there. I've got nothing to hide. I put it all out there, and go from there. But we're on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, YouTube, working on a couple others, and go from there.
Okay. Amy says, "Can I just say this? Mike gives great hugs and is so kind and friendly." I want to say that I didn't always give hugs or even take hugs, but I had this best friend, Michael Malta, who's really Italian and really like touchy-feely, and he got me into it. Like I'm Irish Catholic, and we were like, we don't touch each other in my family, like hands off, and so I do. I love a good hug now. I've grown. I'm changed. So thank you for
You've
noticing that,
evolved.
Amy. I have, and I want to thank Amy because I remember she gives good hugs too. So thank you, Amy. Thank you for noticing. I have evolved. I'm not. We all hopefully evolve a little bit. There's a lot of funny comments tonight. I love this. one troll comment kind of, and I can't wait to get to it, but I don't want to do it while Larry's here. We're gonna wait for the troll comment.
Oh, I want to hear
Not
the
even
troll
that bad.
comment
It
because
just
I got
I
some
just
after
love
the
going
last
off on
time.
these people. I love going off on these people. It's so fun. And I ignore them, but like tonight I'm just having I'm like in such a good mood. I like want to have fun with the trolls. Run the World just sent 1999 says, "Cause you're a good guy." Thank you so much, Run the World. That's gonna help me eat tonight. I'm gonna be able to get a Cliff Bar and maybe some cereal. I'm gonna have a great dinner tonight.
Some
People are
ramen
so
noodles like
yeah,
college.
people are worried that I'm not gonna be able to eat now because they think my channel's getting dinged because some people are mad at me. It's like it's gotten really funny how they're all concerned about my well-being, but they're not really.
Well, I didn't know you were having a troll issue because I don't typically pay attention to that type of stuff.
Because you're
Until
normal. You're a
yeah,
normal person and you're that's the thing. That's the funniest thing of all to me. It's like this is why it won't affect me because the normal people like Larry, the respected people, they're not paying attention to it. None of us are.
you know
It's
how
so
I found
funny.
out
How?
after the Grace
Because I
Curley show. How
oh I
dare you
told you.
go on that show?
Oh, you
Who
heard?
the
They
hell are
gave you
you?
some shit. They gave
Oh
a
yeah.
couple trolls. Yeah.
I'm like, who the hell are you? What are you talking about? They're like the with Mike Crawford. I'm like, I
See
don't have
that
a problem with Mike.
yeah, don't and it's so funny because what that does always it always backfires on them. Like I've had a lot of guests get trolled in the past. Had some people go after my guests, and a lot of times those guests would end up like giving me a big donation on my show, or they'd hook me up with a bigger name because they felt bad. They're like, Mike's so nice, and these people are so crazy. Like it always backfires on them. So I appreciate the trolls. Thank it. I'm glad they. I hope it didn't bother you, Larry, but I kind of think it's funny because like you must be like Mike's a big deal if he's got trolls.
Like, yeah, I'm like, wow, he's got some juice. He's pissing people off. Good.
Oh man,
Make
it's
people
funny.
open. Hey, you know what? I'll take the trolls. I'll take them all on. It's not
Yeah.
taking them on. It's having a conversation. It's kind of going Charlie Kirk on them, if you will. Let's have a conversation. I've always said that. Let's just talk about it. But
So
it always devolves into yelling, screaming, and swearing.
yeah, or name calling, or
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like, let's just have a conversation. Can we not have, I don't have to agree with you. You don't have to agree with me, but we can have a conversation like you and I are right now. But people don't get it.
One of my best mods here is Jeno, and she always brings this one up because I had this I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if you saw the new phone or the old phone, but like I was going to the Grace Curley show, and sometimes they'll grab my phone for something, and I could tell they were even looking at me like, what the fuck is up with this phone you have? And so I went out and because I wanted to, you know, basically do better video when we're outside of court for the press conferences that we're covering. And so I upgraded my phone. I got like the best phone ever, and it looks really good. And so I invested in the show. And some people got mad at that. They literally got mad. So she always brings it up. Mike also upgraded his phone recently. Can you even believe that? Shake my head. She's trolling the trolls on that one because they actually got mad that I upgraded my phone for the show
Come
that
on,
I
Mike.
invested
You
in.
really need to get away from the bag phone. I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah. And I love this phone. This phone's beautiful. Like I love rubbing it in. I got the best iPhone you can get. Like the top dog. It's got everything. It's got the hotspot. It's got man, you couldn't like they were like I'm like give me everything. I want it all.
So,
It's so funny.
hey, well, I have you. Anybody
Yes.
out there that's a lawyer that might decide they want to help somebody get represented because I'm about to get sued to produce documents that I shouldn't have to produce. They were told that I was told that today. And the funny thing is about it, I have no problem defending myself, but because my company is a C corporation, Massachusetts law does not allow the owner of the company, unless they're a lawyer, to defend themselves. So because I registered as a C corporation to protect my family, my house, my assets, to do what I do, now I have to hire an attorney because I registered as a C corporation. Why is it I'm going to have to pay money to be heard for something that I did 2.5 years ago, that I got paid to do, provided all the records, and you don't really care about those records because you've done everything in your power to make sure that they stay under lock and key in a court that's not even covering the case.
Hopefully someone steps up. I would love to see any attorneys out there. I'm trying to think. I mean, I know one that's from Bristol County but she's too far away. Like that would be good on this stuff. So everyone's saying call Bradle, but Bradle's criminal defense. He's not getting involved in that type of stuff. He's got too much going on.
Yeah, now this is something this is a simpler thing, but somebody that's interested in, because we're going to cover it. Oh, by the way, the trial.
What we need is like a young hungry lawyer that wants to make a name for themselves. That's
exactly.
What we need.
I'll give them some time on bribes, lies, and alibis, and tell them about how we met and why we're doing it.
They come on the show.
The other thing we got from this, the trial is going to be 3 weeks and take 50 people. I was shocked to find out it was going to be 3 weeks and 50 people is what they're estimating.
Why
for
50
the witnesses.
people? What are all the witnesses? Who are the witnesses?
It's going to be interesting to find out.
So you don't know at this point?
I have no clue.
How did you find out 50? Where did you get the 50 from? 50
his defense attorney stated in court today when they asked how long is this going to take. 3 weeks, and how many witnesses? 50 expected.
So that's on the defense side.
Yeah.
Wow, they're going to try to call 50. You know they're not going to call 50, but that's interesting that they have 50 names.
It's kind of the tactic it's kind of the tactic they take, because if you go look at the Stein decision in the book, in the Stein decision, what's so troubling about this is not only is it just so blatantly obvious that it's the only outlier of all the reports that Paul Stein wrote as a civil service commissioner. Okay, so you got 25 pages, 22 pages, 23, 21, 18, 19, 24, 125. Right back down.
You wrote 125. This commissioner with the Civil Service Commission wrote a 125-page report. All the other reports he did were short, so this is a major one. And he botched it. He covered it up, didn't he? It was crazy what he did.
I will say my opinion when I got done reading it was there was influence pushed. It was gross. I felt like I needed a shower after I read it, to be honest with you. He would talk. You could tell by the way he wrote about each individual. So normally it would be somebody like. When you're writing your decision, you're talking about respondents and appellants, defendants and witnesses, things of that nature. It would be witnesses: Sergeant Lawrence Smith, Mass State Police; Mike Crawford from the Young Jerks, something like that, and that's it. Line, maybe 2 lines tops. He went in and he would use words that were like credible, believable, ethical, for the witnesses that were coming in for Solomon's side. And then he would just use regular language for the other one. So you could read into it as to which one was, because he didn't list them as respondents or appellants. So it was just one big list, and it was like 10 pages. Instead of being a page or 2, it was 10 pages. It's a huge outlier. And the thing that's really troubling about the civil service decision is they all have to read it. There's 5 commissioners. They all have to read it. They all have to vote on it. So that means 4 other commissioners read this report, and 3 other commissioners sided with Paul Stein that Joe Solomon should get his job back. Had that not gone the way it had gone, and he'd done what he was supposed to, you look at it, it's right there for everybody to see. It's in a QR code embedded in the report. You can see all of it. We did a real deep dive into it. Even Ellen Hull saying Stein's report was so prejudiced. So this one individual helped Joe Solomon get his job back by putting Joe Solomon back to work, being one of the 2 people, which we led into on the Grace Curley show. What we talked about there led to the next 10 years of terror that was that the city had to be subjected to. I mean,
Yeah.
people were arrested for, you know, locking up. I mean, Joe locked up a mom of an autistic child. Even DCS said no, and Balaja tried her twice.
God, Blodgett.
Tried to
Yeah,
get it
they did.
tried twice. I mean,
Tell us about some of the stuff because there was journalists run out of town. There's been so much. It was I refer to it like Joe Solomon. It was like an organized crime ring. He's running the police department like it's a mafia type organization where these lieutenants are getting so much money. It's like pigs at the trough, and the feds are even investigating them because they're not doing the right things with the grant money. They're just giving it to their top friends and the guys at the top. It just tell us about that so what people kind of know how that police department was run beyond what we're talking about the accreditation and all that.
fears, favor, fraud. You definitely knew who was on the inside, who was on the out. You had a detective who was a full-time detective who had been a full-time police officer, went to a legitimate full-time academy, who worked his way up the ranks, became a detective, and he started ringing the bell about Fountains and being concerned about Fountains' access to sexual assault information. He flat out said, no, I'm not going to turn it over because he's not a sexual assault investigator. He was overruled. So he had to turn the sexual assault paperwork over to Sean Fountain. He's not he's not a sexual assault certified investigator. He shouldn't have access to those records. He kept pushing for the Fountain thing. Next thing you know, he found himself working midnights. Not the junior detective. I mean, they said they had to take somebody out because it was, manpower. So you took the senior, legitimate full-time police officer, and you left the fake cop in detectives. It's just, you can't make this up. I mean, it would be funny if it wasn't so sad that this was able to happen in this day and age. I mean, how do you not do background checks? How do you not do it was all there and it was all being done. I mean, and he loved to sign off on not the police chief, not the appointing authority, or blame other people. I'm not the appointing authority. Okay, you're not the appointing authority, but you sent a 270-day waiver request back channels to the executive director for two individuals, one being Fountain and one being another individual who actually completed a part-time academy. That individual was put forward for a 270-day waiver. The mayor, who was the appointing authority, hadn't signed either one of those records. Why? Because you went back door. There's a reason why the process goes, you submit the documents to the director of training. And there's a process for these things. You don't just go from chief to executive director like that. And if you are, it should be because you need help getting it expedited or something, not because you're looking for a favor. I mean, his own email on April 30th of 2020, while Sean was still working, states, hey, let's have a conversation. We're on the phone till 11:30. I have concerns about Fountain. Ding, 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 ding. We have a problem there. And nothing was done about it. You knew there was a concern about this before, and you allowed an unlicensed, uncertified individual, and you didn't even know there were fake records at the time because the fake records hadn't been introduced into the MPTC yet. Those came in 2021 after everybody had retired or was fired or left.
After the fact, they did the fraud to cover up. I mean,
Yes.
that's just so shoddy that I can't believe they didn't think they would get caught. We had a great suggestion here. Andrew Myers would be a good one. I had him years ago talking about attorneys. He's a local
Oh,
attorney. I've talked to Andrew. If anyone talks to Andrew, or if you're in his chat, tell him he should talk to Larry Smith. Maybe Andrew will help out. I'm not sure if Andrew does that type of work, but Andrew's a great guy and he's local and he's covering true crime definitely on his YouTube channel.
that's
Um,
good.
I've been on his show. I like Andrew. Attorney Andrew Myers, great guy. Um, there was also this comment. They said, Alicia said they also have overused intermittent officers. That was another part of this, right? And they were supposed to
Yeah.
actually fund them, but they didn't. They funded the superiors instead with the federal money, right?
There's all kinds of issues with the intermittent
Yeah.
officers, which is predominantly what they're being charged with. So you'll see most of the charges that are up there are civil service and violations of civil service and things of that nature. You don't see a lot of the criminal aspect of the conspiracy. I mean, yeah, there's one count of conspiracy, one count of, I think Sean's got one count of perjury. But where's the conspiracy between Joe and everybody else? And why is the executive director of the MPTC not been charged? Why wasn't he even investigated? How do we know the integrity of the records at the MPTC are actually valid? Because we didn't just find one forgery in there, we got two. And that was, that's with a very short search. How many others were there? We have another one that we had from Methuen. It just didn't get inserted into the MPTC yet. I mean, so what kind of integrity check did you do to make sure that all the other training records are actually valid? How many other chiefs that might have done this? They didn't do any of that. This is what they don't want to do. This is a drug lab scandal they don't want to work on.
Spouse is on the Methuen Police. Is Fountain's spouse also on the Methuen Police Department as well?
The current one.
Wow. The current one. Wow, that's not
I know
good.
the first wife because I worked with her.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
You think that might be a scandal for her career, but it probably helps her, actually.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, I'll keep that to myself for the moment. We'll let the court figure that one out.
Yeah, we'll figure that out later. It's pretty funny, though. It's like they're all connected. They're all connected. They're all doing each other favors. It's wild. You're either part of the system or you're not.
That's why we said it's 6 degrees of corruption, because you can't get 6 people away from somebody involved. If you live in Essex County, if you go talk to somebody, I guarantee you somebody in Essex County knows one of them within 6 clicks. I mean, 6 individuals. That's why it's 6 degrees of corruption.
That's what we're all wondering about this judge with the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case. Like, who does she know? Which police chief does she know, or fire department chief? There's something going on there. And
who's the judge in that case?
I forget her name. Something McCarthy Naaman is her last name. Naaman McCarthy, or McCarthy Naaman is the last name. It's a hyphenated name.
Lawrence Superior?
No, it's out of Salem.
Not familiar with that one.
Yeah, but she acted so wild that we've all been kind of digging in and seeing what we can find on her. She's from North Andover, and the incident happened in North Andover, and she practiced in North Andover, so it's interesting. It's just wild because they're all always connected. It's just like when we saw the McAlberts in Canton. It's not like a unique thing. This is like I'm covering this other thing, this Krista Worthington too. It's looking into that, and it's funny how one of the main witnesses, his father was a fire chief in the next town over, and he lost his job through stalking. It's like every time we look at a piece of corruption in one of these towns, it always sounds familiar. It's like, oh my God, look at this. They're all connected. They're always all connected.
Let's just look at North Andover, Haverhill, Methuen, Lawrence. Don't even get me started on Lawrence.
Lawrence is bad. The police department, and it's unbelievable.
But the thing is, it's not the officers. It's the leadership. It's the failure at the top. It's the top. It's not the rank and file. It's not the person that's pulling you over on the side of the road. But you know what? That does influence the interaction that you get, because if the supervisors don't care how you treat people, then you're not going to care how you treat people. It's kind of, Methuen is the quintessential broken windows. If you break one window and you don't fix it, well, you reset. That's the new normal. Okay, so, you don't break 10 windows because that's so egregious, somebody's going to notice and it's going to get fixed, right? But if you break one window, they might just throw cardboard over it. Now you've reestablished what the new normal is. You put cardboard over it. And now another window gets broken. Well, cardboard worked for that, so we're going to put cardboard over that. So next thing you know, you get 10 pieces of cardboard. But because it happens slowly and systemically over a period of time, it just becomes the new normal and acceptable. And that's what we have here, is people are just so overwhelmed with everything that they've learned and seen and everything else from all the other corruption that goes on, that we've lowered the bar that certain things don't offend and don't shock people anymore. And it's unless you were a poor immigrant girl on a train that gets stabbed to death, people, or you're Daniel Penny on a train trying to do the right thing. These are the things that draw shock and awe and ear of other individuals. You don't hear about the little stuff because the little stuff's no longer a concern, because the little stuff used to be big stuff, but now it's just little stuff because we've lowered the bar so low.
Helen Hull says, I'm floored by the number of lawsuits that Joe Solomon, this is the Methuen Police Chief that's facing a lot of felonies right now, has filed against the city and still has a job. He doesn't have a job, but he's getting a pension. But can you tell us about some of these lawsuits he's filed against the city? The guy who's got all the felonies against him.
Where to start? Well, obviously there was the lawsuit for when he got fired for mismanagement of the grants and for loss of faith with the mayor at the time. There was some tiff going on there, and they fired him for cause. He sued. Well, he sued after or during the civil service, so he appealed his termination. Stein helped put him back to work. And here's the other aspect. He's not the only one responsible for it. John Blodgett's office is. Because John Blodgett's office, when they fired Solomon, they cut the locks off his locker. And they found 4 pages of police evidence, to include 3 guns. So why is it that you find 3 guns that belong in the evidence room? You've destroyed the integrity of the chain of custody, and yet he gets nothing? If I had 3 guns in my locker and they fired me and they found 3 guns in my locker, matter of fact, I know this for a fact. They did find a gun in a trooper's cruiser that had been fired. And guess what? They charged him. But not Joe Solomon. So I think I lost your audio.
Sorry, he's got too much power. You can't let him go down. He's got too much power.
Well, it's curious as to who's he get dirt on. That
Exactly.
They're trying to protect him.
Too much leverage, too much power. You can't mess with Joe because he might hurt us.
Exactly. I mean, and the thing is, the Fourth Estate is so key and crucial in keeping the citizens informed. But we're so busy, and you get news on, it's not like the old days where people sat down and watched the news at night for a half hour during dinner. And that was it. And that's where you get your news. And there's some truth to the news back then. News changed when Walter Cronkite said, "And this reporter's professional opinion," because it stopped becoming factual reporting and started becoming opinion pieces. And so now you don't know whether it's fact or if it's opinion, and it's not always clear, and people don't always have time to go look and verify and fact check. And let's face it, the fact checkers are, opinionated and they side on the side that's paying the paycheck. So it's just, I don't know where to start and where to stop it, and I'm not naive enough to think that I'm going to make a real difference, but I just can't. It's not in my makeup not to do this. I mean, I can't. It's just what's right. It's why I became a cop to begin with.
I think you might inspire people. I think that's the key, especially when you're out on these YouTube channels where all these people are watching, for people to look into their own local towns and to get involved and start doing the FOIA request. And I think we wake up a lot of minds, and I think YouTube is kind of the place now, unfortunately, that we have. I mean, it's I say unfortunately because I mean it's kind of sad that it comes to YouTube. Like YouTubers are now the last frontier for this stuff. Where, like you said, the old days the newspapers would dig in. Now the newspapers, they're going out of business. They're
and the ones that
paywalls.
And the ones that are
like, yeah. Let me just say that Boston.com went paywall only this week. I did a poll. I was like, how many people have a Herald or Boston Globe subscription? It was like 1%. It's like they're basically, the newspapers are now for the 1%.
The Fourth Estate is so crucial, and they've basically, the papers that do survive, they're owned by Jeff Bezos. They're owned by the owner of the Red Sox, who are uber ultra left wing, You don't get legitimate reporting out of there. You get what they want. And I'm not saying from one side or the other. I'll tell you, Fox is, I don't need to tell you what the slant's going to be. You just tell
They're
me
all
what
rich
channel.
people. That's all I'll say. Whether it's the Fox or the Globe,
Yeah,
left or right. They're owned by billionaires.
yeah.
And that's who controls the narrative. And that's what I said. The news is now for the 1%.
Yep.
And that's why they're not covering this shit, because their readers don't want to read it because they're part of it.
And
Like,
all you hear about on the news is national issues. Well, national
yeah,
issues don't shape what happens in Methuen, doesn't shape what happens in Lawrence or Danvers or any of the other cities and towns.
right. That's what I love about our little niche. People
Mikey's
worry
right.
about whether we're going to have enough to cover, whether this or that. It's like there's always something to cover locally because none of these newspapers are doing it. So it gives us
Now,
like a niche, and it's easy. It's easy for us to just talk to someone who's an expert locally and get down to some new coverage, some new stories. So
I mean, in this case, you had a reporter had gas put in his car and told next time him and his family be in it if he didn't walk away from the fountain case. Um, you know,
imagine that, people. Can you imagine if an off-duty police officer or thug walked up to your car while you're at a gas station and poured gas in your car and threatened you? That's what they did to journalists in this city of Methuen. So
and it's sad. I mean, people have wives and husbands and kids, and you can't, you have an obligation to them first and foremost. You can't take that fight on, and that's what they're betting on. I don't have kids. I got two dogs. And if you can get past them, good luck to you.
certainly, you can get past me. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
I am the bulldog. I'm looking.
Do you have the cauliflower ears?
No, I always wear my headgear, but actually a little bit. It's like
Okay, because
it's
I
not
tell
the
people,
full cauliflower. You know how people's ears get? You can really see it. I just
yep,
got it in the little middle on both my ears a little
yep.
bit, but you can't really see it. So I always wore the headgear because of that. Because I hated that. Some dudes would
That's
just
what.
like get it over with. I want to thank Boston B. I love Boston Bia. Boston Bia. I'm saying it right now. Says 100. I love her. Thank you, Boston Bia. She's a host on Calling All Beings. Check them out. Subscribe to them. It's good to see you, Boston Bia. Also, Donnie Not World Wahlberg over here. I like to see that. Thank you, Donnie Not World Wahlberg. I also want to thank the Rogue Townie, a good supporter. It says, "What's cauliflower ears?" It's from wrestling. You ever see the wrestlers with like the round ears? We got mangled ears from getting hit in the head all the time. And for me, I used to always wear that headgear. A lot of wrestlers, especially in college and Olympic style wrestling, they don't wear the headgear in practice. In high school, you're kind of required to. In college, you really didn't have to. When you get into Olympics, I don't even know if you had to wear headgear at all. I know some wrestlers just didn't. So your ears get like, you know, it's weird. You almost look like a little pit bull. Your ear becomes like a pit bull ear. Larry, did you wrestle? How did you know about cauliflower ear?
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't wrestle. I put it this way. How did I know? Because that's the guy. That's the last person in the bar you want to pick a fight with.
Yeah, the cauliflower ear guy.
Yeah,
That's the
that's what
thing
I tell
about
people
me.
all the time.
Yeah.
If they get cauliflower ear, that's not the guy you want to get in a fight with.
That's what I say too. Like it's so funny because us wrestlers will notice each other that way, and I never get afraid of anybody unless I find out that they were a good wrestler or a good boxer or something. You know what I mean? Like that's when I'm like, all right, now they're trained like I am. They know what's going on. But when you see the ears, that's like somebody that's been probably on a college or Olympic level. Like that's yeah.
That's MMA stuff. You don't want to pick that fight if you aren't on the equal level.
Yeah, definitely not. It's so funny. People don't. That's why you can never judge it somebody either, too. You never judge a book by its cover until you really know. Like it's funny. Um, yeah, MMA fighters get it a lot. Yeah,
Yep,
yep.
yep. I
And a lot of wrestlers will be just like, I'm just gonna get it over with, because then your ears harden up, kind of like
It doesn't
my
hurt as
ears used to
much.
blow up. Yeah, my ears used to blow up in the middle and get like this little I get it a little bit, but I always wore the headgear. That's the thing. I didn't want it. I didn't want to look like a mongrel ear. Enough about cauliflower ear. Let's anything else that we didn't bring up tonight that you want to talk about, Larry?
Oh, nah, I can't really think of anything else. I mean, it's really about getting out the corruption. I mean, I could sit here and get and talk about the book more and more and more, but got to leave something for you to read. And it's gonna be it's gonna be a bumpy ride. I mean, they're still trying. I mean, come on, 36 months. 36 months to get you to trial. Then it's going to take 3 weeks and 50 witnesses. Um, this is what they did. I mean, if you read the Stein report, they took over 2 years. It took 400 days from the time the last hearing took place to the time that the report was issued. I mean, and there's no way that wasn't just. I mean, you read it, make your own minds up. We did a lot of research into it. We pulled all the other reports that he wrote. We did cross references. We really dove into that because it played such a major role in Joe getting his job back and the 10-year corruption that continued from 2010 through when he retired in January 21. So, which is sad. And people are tired. People are exhausted. People are afraid still. They don't think this is actually going to happen. And now that you're telling me Sean Fountain's going to get rid of the plea and take no jail time before that report is ever allowed out, I got the report legally. They made a mistake. They gave it to me. I published it. I put it out there for everybody to see. But there's a lot of people in the media that won't cover it because there's this understanding that, the report's impounded. It's not impounded. We looked through the records today. We can't find any indication that says the report is impounded. I talked to Superior Court. So when I was at Superior Court, I was trying to find out if they had the report. I had the petition. I was like, look, I don't want to give you the petition if you don't have the report because then it's just a waste of time. So can you just tell me if there's a report? She's like, well, I wouldn't know. I'm like, well, it has the same logo that's on the top of the petition, the Sturm Group. And she's like, okay. She goes back, she looks, and she's like, oh, I can't find the case file because it's on. So they're up in the office. Okay, so I go upstairs to the courtroom and I have a conversation with the clerk. She has no clue what I'm talking about. Hasn't seen it, doesn't know about it. And yes, he was. But yeah, they didn't know about this report. So if you don't know about the report, how are you impounding the report in district court? Because you've got 4 docket numbers for these guys up here in Superior Court. There's a different docket number at Essex District Court. And the only reason there's a district court case is because we had to start there because the attorney general and the district attorney refused to do their jobs. They refused to look into this case. They refused to charge this case. And they're still giving it a slow walk because how do you tell me that all the people that he locked up hasn't or wrote the search warrants against? I mean, there's 3 counts of perjury right there. You had 3 search warrants issued to you that you wrote under the pains and penalties of perjury. You testified in 2 homicide trials, one in New Hampshire and one in Massachusetts, and you weren't a cop. And then you forged the records. I mean, it's just disgusting. You can't get past it. And they just keep burying the story. People are afraid that this is going to happen again. They think he's going to come back and he's going to get some money or something. I mean, I have no idea because guaranteed he's going to want to sue. It's his history. It's just like you can modify the behavior of a wild animal, but at the end of the day, it's still a wild animal. So when it goes back to its natural roots, don't be
Natural
shocked.
habitat. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to root it out. We got to make sure. Like if it happens, if it actually happens in November of 2026, I'll be showing up to court. Is it going to be in Salem Superior?
Yep. Salem Superior.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
I will be there. I will be there.
I'm gonna be there, and I'm actually gonna try.
We're not gonna be hanging out watching these cops go on trial. I hope so. I hope to see Chief Solomon there.
I'm gonna be, I'm gonna try to see if I can get a local shop that'll let me set up and broadcast during the lunch period.
Definitely. You should be
One of
able
the,
to, even on the sidewalk there, we could set something up. It's easy.
yeah, I don't think
Uh,
they'd give me a permit for that.
you don't need a permit. Free
Uh,
speech. I can
yes.
show you. I can help you out too. I can help you out with it's easy. Um, Here's one question. It's probably the last one tonight.
Okay.
Sophia says, "Does anyone know if this guest Larry works independently? If so, what type of clientele does he work with and accept?" You've got your company called the Sturm Group, which is
Yes.
STIRM. You can look that up. You want to answer this, Larry?
Yeah, we're a security training investigation risk mitigation company. I'm a certified fraud examiner. I'm a certified protection professional. And what I have is a collection of other individuals in law enforcement that I know and worked with over the years that have certain certifications and trainings, whether it be cell phone extraction, whether it be accident reconstruction, auditing for evidence rooms. We do internal investigations for departments, agencies, civilians, corporations. We do physical security plans. We're encouraging people to reevaluate their outdoor security plans after Charlie's death, things of that nature. So there's a lot of, from the client standpoint, we do hostile terminations. All of a sudden you fire somebody for a hostile work environment. You might want to put some surveillance on them and make sure they're not coming back,
Protect
things
yourself.
of that nature.
And maybe protect your documentation too if you have, yeah, like
Oh,
this.
absolutely. So there's a
Yeah.
lot that we're a full service security training, investigation, risk mitigation company, and the training part and the speaking is really starting to develop, and the book is going to help with that.
And it's spelled like that, STIRM, Sturm Group, the Sturm Group. If people want to look that up, you can as well. Contact Larry, whether you're a private corporation or a local town, local city, government agency, anything like that, nonprofit. He can help you out with all that stuff. Fraud examination, security, all
Small
of it.
businesses are so small businesses so ripe. I mean, and I don't mean small as in like people are people at the lower level, whether they be a dog walker, a vet, a dentist, they're good at what they do. They focus on what they do. Running a business is really complicated, as you know. I know. There's so much to do and so many places and things that you have to pay attention to that things get lost. And so, for example, I know a client that had um, the reimbursement checks from Medicaid and insurance companies found their way into the secretary's personal checking account that was made out to the dental company for $400,000.
400 G's. Wow.
And and here's the thing that you don't hear about: most companies will eat that. They don't want the publicity. They don't want to charge anybody. The reputational damage is too great, so they make an educated decision based off of what the loss is and what that may be. So
Yeah. Sometimes cut your losses.
yeah, and that's basically what they want to do.
They want to do that.
Cut the
Yeah.
losses and make the bleeding stop.
Make it stop. Make Larry go away. That's the other thing I think they want. They want Larry to stop. But you're not going to stop until we get some transparency and
Most of my clients are
action, hopefully.
happy unless they're on
Yeah,
the other side of this.
I bet. And what
So,
we talked about a guy I graduated with. He's a friend of mine who's a law enforcement officer you talked to recently. I mean, I have a feeling you still talk to some law enforcement officers who current. Well, how do they feel about this? Do they know about what you're doing? Do they give you kind of feedback? Is it usually positive or sometimes negative?
well, it's never negative. It's more of a, "Are you sure you want to do that?" Yeah, I'm well aware of what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I know how I'm doing it. And like I said, to go hunting for grizzlies, you don't bring a 22, you bring a bazooka. My bazooka are facts. That's all. It's just public records. It's knowing where to look, how to look, and not taking no for an answer.
Love that when they say, "You sure you want to do that?" Because they know what they know what the system is. They know that self-preservation is usually how people handle these things.
Yeah, it's never been my thing, unfortunately. It'd make my life a whole lot easier if I was
Me, t-
more go
Me
along,
too,
get along.
Larry. Sometimes you have to take a hard stand, even if it doesn't benefit you. I don't know why some people can't do that in life. I think that courage has been lost. I don't get it because I don't know about you. When I don't, when there was a point in time when I worked at a company called AIG and they were doing fraud. They were lying to their investors. They were lying to their customers, and I was making killer money, and they were offering me more money just to keep my blinders on. Just ignore it. Just tell your customers that trust you that we're good. I couldn't
Oh,
sleep at night. I could not sleep at night. And the best thing I ever did is I walked away from that. And it cost me a lot of money and I lost everything basically. And I would do it all again. I don't get why people don't have the courage to stand on convictions and do the right thing because you know what? It's going to harm you. If you can't sleep at night, if you're stressed, that's not good for you. Like the
no.
good thing is to walk away and tell the truth every time.
Let me ask you
I don't know.
this,
People
Mike.
live in fear. I don't live in fear. That's the thing. The only thing I have to fear is myself not doing the right thing.
Yeah. So let
Go
me
ahead,
ask you
Larry.
this.
Yeah.
With all that being said, I found 526 public records, right? Why couldn't the feds?
This is when I'm gonna give you some crap because I've heard you throw a few right wing things in there, and I'll say it's never gonna happen under Trump. He got rid of all he cares about is immigration. He put all the FBI and everybody else. They're not covering any of this shit anymore. They even made a deal for Monica Cannon. I thought like Monica Cannon Grant, like I can't believe the sweet deal they gave her. It's almost like they don't want to do anything except for immigration.
And that's the problem.
It is.
You know, look, I put my politics aside. I have my beliefs, but you want to talk issues, we can talk issues, and I'll have that conversation with anybody. I can play both sides of them because I
Too.
learned that's the one thing I learned. And I told my niece before she went to school, she's conservative, she's going to George Washington. I said, one thing you need to understand if you're going to go in the debate club, I said, you need to understand both sides equally. I said, because you can't defeat the opponent if you don't understand what they're fighting for.
Exactly. And you got to have some respect for it too and understand like why they feel that way because I feel like we all could, I think we need both sides. I feel like America and the world, we are bet like if we have just left wing, it gets crazy. If we
Yeah,
had
you
just
have
right
just right
wing,
wing. It's
it
crazy.
gets crazy. That's why we need each other. We need to, I think the center is where it's at. And like you said, on some policies, the right wing's better, and some policies it's the left wing, and sometimes it's like just slightly better. Like it's just funny. It just depends on. I always say, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
And that's really what it comes down to. And it's about making sure people understand and be. We don't know how to have conversations because guess what? I remember when I was a kid, I was told we don't talk about politics, we don't talk about religion, we don't talk about money in public. It's just what you don't do. And if you're not having those conversations, and now here we are 50 years later from when I was a kid, and you're not having those conversations. Well, now you need to have those conversations, and we don't know how to have those conversations because we've been told for 50 years don't have them.
And now the new thing
That's
is
a
don't talk.
problem.
And the new thing is people are in their silos. You're
Oh,
either
absolutely.
on this, you're either with me on the left, or you're with me on the right, and I don't talk to or associate with anybody outside of where I'm at. Like that to
Exactly.
me is the wild thing. Like I'll talk to anyone. Like you notice on this show, I'll have Democrats, I'll have Republicans, Independents,
Hmm.
Libertarians, Green Party, United Independent Party, whoever it is. We'll have those conversations, especially if it's about policy over politics. I don't like the politics angle. Like I like what are we talking about? What are we actually talking about? I want to thank you so much for coming in today, Larry.
I appreciate it,
Coming in
Mike.
tonight, being on the show. It's always a pleasure. We're an hour and 45 minutes, and I feel like I'm just talking to a friend about
It
this
did.
stuff. And you've educated us all. I know people are buying your book.
I
I'm
appreciate that.
excited to see more books being sold. Have you been selling some books? Has it been helping, you think?
Yeah, it was a nice kick up after the Grace Curley. I'm hoping for equally or better now that people are starting to get the word, and you get people that are saying that's good. Before it was just me telling you it was going to be good. Now the other people are starting to tell you it's going to be good.
Right. And the nice thing is we have it linked right in the chat so people can just go buy the book. It's not, it's not rocket science. You just click on the link and you go buy the book. We have it linked right in the chat, in the YouTube chat. And it's also on the screen. Sherry D keeps posting it in the chat. It's LP Smith author.
Thank you,
LP Smith,
Sherry.
like Larry. Larry LP Smith author.com. I hope people buy that book, or like I said, you could ask for it at your local library. Maybe they can pick it up. You can do, ask Larry if you want to do a book club or book signing, something like that, some type of
All of
uh,
them. Open
event.
for
He's
all of them.
all in. Yeah.
It's about getting the word out. It's because, uh, in in that book, there's a QR code from the city council when all that stuff went down. And you'll see the videos of these city councils from Methuen saying the Stern report needs to be set free. People need to see this. It's the best antiseptic is daylight, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not happening. And it's not happening for a reason because they're afraid of what's in that report. And that's what it comes down to. And I'm not going away. I'm not giving up. And I'm sure as shit not afraid of you. I would have
Great.
quit a long time ago if I was afraid of you.
It's not going away. I love it.
No.
Well, I
So
want to thank you so much, Larry,
thank
and I
you.
hope you have a
Had a
great rest of your
blast.
night. And we'll talk soon. Keep in
Thank you,
touch and
sir.
let me know any updates, anything you want to promote. You're always welcome to the show. You're a great guest, and I love
Oh,
having you on here. And especially if you've ever like, because I know you've been so focused on this book and this story, but if there's anything else of interest in the state, always hit us up because we love you and you're a great guest.
hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, I had one more question, but I'll have to get back to you on that one. I don't. Oh, you trolls. Are you going to go? Are you going to kick?
Oh,
Am
you
I
want to
done?
hear it?
Yeah, I
You
want
want
to
to
hear
hear
the
it?
troll. I want to hear the
You
troll
want?
thing.
Oh, you want to hear the troll
I want to
thing?
hear the troll thing.
All right, where is it? I gotta find it. I always, let's go with a couple good comments first. The nice ones
Yeah.
to me. This is the nice one. She said, Mike, this is Heather. She's been commenting all night. I like Heather a lot. She said, Mike, you should do a meet and greet. I'd love to meet you. Maybe I'm a little shy. I don't like to go out much, but you never know. We might do a meet and greet. It's something we talked about. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'd love to do it. If there are any venues. Last time we had like a theater hit us up. We are going to do a theater event, but they seem to get scared about some of the trolls for the anti Karen Reed people back then. So I don't know. We'll see. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I got a lot on my plate, so there's a lot for me to deal with, and I don't know if I can handle organizing something like that right now, Heather. But eventually, one of my mods, Sherry. No, actually, this isn't a mod. This is another Sherry. She says, Mike, did you call your eye doctor yet? Yes, I did. I called my eye doctor. It's funny because I went through, the initial and then this another measurement. It's like two crazy doctor's appointments, right? And they're like, all right, well, now we're going to call you and do the surgery. And I'm ready to go. And I'm sitting there waiting. It's been like 2, 3 weeks. And I'm like, what the hell? When are you calling me? So I start calling them. And they're like, no, no, you're within the frame. We're supposed to call you. And as soon as I start calling them, within 2 days, they call me up to schedule the appointment. And they give me a date. And I'm all excited. And then they're like, oh, wait, have you talked to your primary care? And I'm like, I have this health insurance. They said I don't need to talk to my primary care. They're like, no, to have this surgery, and I'm like, I don't even have a primary care. I have new insurance. I don't even have a doc. So now I got to call. This is what frustrates me. If they had just told me. So now I got to find a primary care. This health system, I'm telling you, it's like, why didn't you tell me that in the first two appointments that I went to the specialist? I'm frustrated right now. So that's my new one. Now I have to find a primary care so I can actually get the surgery that I need, that they've already approved. I mean, it's just, the
Ugh.
system is crazy. And my health insurance is great. It's not even my health insurance. It's like this office, the specialist. I don't know. I'm frustrated. You can tell. But yeah, we'll get to the troll so we can let Larry go. Where is the troll? Did I lose the troll comment? It's still here. Oh, here it is. Paul Giannetti says, "Yikes, views are down. Maybe you should take a break and restructure. Not the best guess." Oh, so you were attacking Larry tonight? Are you kidding me,
Huh? I
Paul?
don't have a clue who he is.
Paul, you are weak. Do you know this guy?
No, no clue.
Yeah, he's a clown. Paul, you are a clown. Larry's a great guest. Number one, and number two, our views are not down. Anytime we've covered anything that's not Karen Reed, we don't get as many views. And tonight, LTL has Nan on, started an hour earlier than us. This is not a views are down. Views are actually doing pretty damn good. I think it's funny that so many of you are invested in how well I'm doing. We're doing great. I'll tell you what, Paul. If you could ever get 5 people to watch you, let me know.
I'd love to know what he meant by not the best guest. I mean,
Oh, it just
guys, Mambo, what? What? You didn't like the content? Well, don't listen.
they're full of shit. This is what they do. They lie. They make up shit. It's like
Oh, I know.
he's mad about something else. That's truly what it is. It has nothing to do with you, Larry. He's mad about something else, and he's looking. This is the problem with them too. Is they don't have anything they can attack me on.
Yeah.
Like they're mad at me about something else, so they're looking for the usual character assassination stuff, and they're realizing they don't have anything. So they just make up this shit. It's funny as hell. It's like, Paul, I'm glad you're watching, and I'm glad you're mad. I hope you're still watching, you little crybaby. Another great show says, see, mass is corrupt.
Yes, it is. Don't disagree there.
And then Sherry D, one of our moms, says, Mike wrestling signing with Larry, book signing. I'll wrestle Paul.
There you go.
That's the other thing. That's the thing. A lot of these people would never say it to my face. A lot of internet tough guys and ladies out there. They would never say it to my face. It's facts.
Nope. Oh no,
Nope.
the keyboard warriors. Come on.
No way. Just say no.
And the thing is, like, okay, you're saying it on a podcast, so what?
They're
your
watching.
opinion.
I love getting them going too tonight because I'm feeling good. I'm feeling frisky. But I want to thank you so much, Larry, and I'm
Mike.
glad you got to get a taste of some of these trolls and you know what it's about.
Oh, I get it. Trust me, I've got some already. But hey,
You get
thank you very
popular and
much,
people
Mike.
get weird. Thank you so much. This is Larry Smith again, retired Mass State Police. He's with the Sturm Group if you ever want to hire him. But buy his book right now. LP Smith, 6 Degrees of Corruption, The Fleecing of a City. It's on Amazon. It's on all the usual places. You can find it on his website. I want to thank you so much, Larry, for coming on tonight.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in and listening. Help me get the word out. Thank you.
Yes, and I hope a lot of people buy the book. And I want to thank you for hooking me up with my old friend too, because I'm going to definitely text him later. Thank you for that too, Larry.
You're welcome, buddy. We'll talk soon.
Definitely. That was Larry Smith. Buy the book, 6 Degrees of Corruption, The Fleecing of a City. I want to thank him for coming on the show tonight. He is a great guest. I almost wish I didn't read that with him because I didn't realize there was a dig at him. Like, that's how lame these little trolls are. Oh, you got the hard copy. And you know what's so funny is they can all be mad, but you know how many books are sold tonight? How many people are into this tonight? If we sold one book, it would be worth it. We sold a lot of books tonight. Sherry D says, no, Frisky Mike. Walk the dog, eat bologna, and relax tonight. Stay off social media, all said with love. I will stay off social media. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do workouts some more. I'm going to do some working out. I might have to get on the wrestling mat again this year, too. I think I might have to hit some practices. Run down to Bridgewater State again. Some USA wrestling tourneys. I'm back. Bay State Games open. There's an open competition. I might have to get in the Bay State Games this year. I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to come back. You know, my old coach used to wrestle when we were in high school and stuff. He would wrestle in the tournament, and you would always win the open. It's basically like the adult Bay State Games. And there was one time when they had like this Olympian there who was like doing the clinic. They like paid for him to have him come out, and he wrestled in the open tournament, and our coach beat him. Love that. That was like they bring in the ringer, and my coach beat him. That's Con Madigan. And Con Madigan, he was a football player at UNH, like a fullback, and he also All American wrestler, heavyweight. But he wasn't really a heavyweight. He was like a light heavyweight. Back then, if they had a different weight class that was like one step lower, like they do now, he probably would have been national champ. Like that dude is like a brick shit. Like he is just jacked and fast. Like I was a sprinter in high school. I broke a school record in the 200. I was part of a mile relay team that broke a record too. Back then, I don't have the school records anymore, but back then, and our coach, heavyweight, he would be like neck and neck with me, if not faster than me. And he would run backwards faster than us. Like that dude is just sick. And our other coach, Von Hain, who was the assistant coach, he's probably the greatest wrestler ever in high school, 4-time state champ. We all talk about him. And his son was just as amazing from North Andover, actually, Von Hain. Probably the greatest wrestler, if not his son, who was Fritz. They're probably the greatest two North Andover wrestlers ever. And there's tons of great wrestlers in North Andover. Someone said I missed a super chat. We'll try to put it up. A Bierbauer says, I can't tell you how grateful I am have to seen this show tonight and learned about this gentleman in the work he does. Oh, see? We should have posted that one up with Larry. Thank you so much for the $9.99 tonight. I also want to thank Amy for becoming a new member. I want to thank Run the World. Thank you so much. What the Duck, Unfit for Normalcy. I love What the Duck. 5 new Young Jerks memberships. Thank you so much. Love you. And A. B. Bauer. We got some good people here. Oh, look at this. Yeah. Charles Wollinger says, both of my sons were captains of state champ wrestlers. I want to know where. He said they never had cauliflower ear. They were under Winchester, Larry Tremblay. Yeah, I know Larry. Sort of. I mean, I'm not on if I saw Larry in the street, I wouldn't recognize him, let's say, but I know him, who he is. And yeah, he was a great coach. Larry the Legend. Definitely a good coach. Willie Thilly. I don't know if you guys seen Willie Thilly. He's a great Winchester wrestler. And he's like made national news recently. My brother and I were talking about this. He's the guy that does the breakdancing at the city council. But yeah, Larry Tremblay, great wrestling coach. And I remember it right. It was at Winchester, right? Now I'm looking it up to make sure I'm remembering right. I got to make sure because I know Larry. My brother would kill me if I get the. Yeah, he is. There he is. After 38 years, Larry Tremblay lets retirement sick in. Winchester wrestling coach retires as state's all-time winningest coach. Yeah, he's an amazing guy. He had some great wrestlers over there. Willie Thilly. Do you know the name Willie Thilly? Very good wrestler. Willie Philly. I said it right. Yeah. It doesn't make you feel. I don't think that's actually Philly. I think it's Thilly. Let me look up, make sure I'm saying Willie's name right. I saw Willie Russell. He was a 4-time place winner, I'm pretty sure, at the States. Let me look him up. I just want to make sure I'm getting it right. Maybe we'll play the video. Let's see if we can find the Willie Thilly video because he just made national news. Yeah. I'm trying to find one where I won't get copyright struck. This is a Winchester High wrestler actually, who's running for office. I think it's in Connecticut. It's some other state. New Jersey actually, Cranford, New Jersey. I'm going to put it on here. This is actually one of the best high school wrestlers of my time from Winchester that we knew. Great wrestler. My brother and I were laughing about it because we're like, look at this guy. We know him. Let me see if I can put it up here tonight. This is Willie.
We have an update to a story we first showed you last week that's since gone viral. Remember this? A political candidate in New Jersey broke out all the dance moves, just like that, to protest taxes.
Yes, and it was all to go viral, obviously, to get attention. This was all during a town meeting in Cranford, New Jersey. And now Philly is talking to ABC's Danny New about the memorable moments.
Mr. Philly, I started your time.
Maybe you've seen this clip from Cranford, New Jersey last week, as a man dances in palpable silence at a town hall meeting.
I probably have an instinct somewhere that talking's a little boring.
His name is Will Philly, and he tells me he did not plan on dancing until a minute before it was his time to speak in the public comments portion. However, as you can tell from the reactions behind him, many of his neighbors are familiar with his eccentric approach to public speaking.
Are you glad that you did it?
I couldn't have done differently. So yes, I'm glad I listened to my instinct.
This guy
so maybe it's effective.
is brilliant.
In the days
I'm gonna let it go, but he got a lot of attention on this for his campaign. It's hilarious. I would not mess with him. You know, it's funny. People would probably look at him and think, "Oh, that guy, he's not tough." I would not mess with him. Let me just say that. Would not mess with that man. 4-time place winner at the States. But that's the guy I know from Winchester, from my time. I missed the Salisbury Super Chat. How did I miss that? Did we click off of it somehow? It didn't show up. Let me see if I could find it back in the... I'm sorry I missed your Super Chat. I don't see it. It's sometimes StreamYard... Huh. I'm looking. I'm trying to look back in all the... What if we clicked off of it somehow? Maybe just post it again so I can get it up there because it's not showing up. Yeah, I'm not seeing that super chat. I'm sorry. Maybe I accidentally clicked it off. They usually, what they do is they star them on the side for us. And it's not showing up on the start, and then when I scroll up, I'm not reading it, finding it either. Did I read their comment? Oh, okay, I did read it. Good. All right, we read it. Good. So we're all set? We don't owe anyone? Hopefully not. I like their comments tonight. They had some good comments, good questions too. I wonder if they're actually from Salisbury, because I got some friends up in Salisbury. That's some of the kids I went to school with in high school. Yeah, it's Willie Thilly. That's the guy's name. It's Thilly. That was the guy from Winchester. I gotta say, I love everybody here tonight. Very much pleased about the show, about the guest. I want to thank Larry. I also want to thank our moderators, Sherry D and Jen O, I saw in the chat tonight, as well as MJ and Stephanie. Just checking a couple things. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything tonight. All right, I think we're good. I think I'm all caught up in the super chats and everything. I think tomorrow night we're going to have that attorney, Robert George, on the show to talk about Krista Worthington. If you didn't get to watch last night's episode with us, definitely do check it. I saw a lot of people were watching the replay today. So definitely check that out if you get a chance. Hopefully tomorrow night we're going to have that attorney, Robert George. He had been disbarred for money laundering, and he's recently been reinstated. And we're hopefully going to talk to him about the conviction of one of his clients, Chris McGowan, for the Krista Worthington murder. That's going to be hopefully tomorrow night at 6 p.m. I hope you come back and check it out. I'll see you all tomorrow night. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Peace out, everyone. Love you all. Thank you so much.